it's good to have him here too. He looks like he's doing well.
Oh, he's doing really good. He's rebounding every day, getting more and more strong.
That's some amazing stuff, isn't it?
Aren't you? Can you wave hi?
Yeah.
There you
go.
go.
How you going, man?
So I've just pressed a button. I don't know if we're on YouTube yet, so let's just go and check that out. That hopefully we are. Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. How you going? Welcome, everybody.
We've actually been here for a few minutes now. We did all of our pre-roll music and all of that kind of stuff, and then Lloyd told us, hey, we're not on YouTube. So that wasn't Wirecast's fault today. That was something to do with the YouTube studio, so we can't blame them for that this time. But anyway.
No, not at all.
So let's try that again. Hey, John, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Greg. Good to be here, mate. Great to be back, everybody. Another week of fun. Hope you've been having some good flying out. The weather's been good for you and so forth. So, yeah, great to be back.
Yeah, so a couple of quick things up the front. We've had some interesting product releases, particularly the Parrot this last week. Lots of stuff there. I haven't had a great chance to go and dig into it this week. And to be honest, the news that we're going to share today is actually last week's news, because I've spent the week trying to debug and troubleshoot Wirecast. As some of our regular viewers would know, we had a big crash last week. It just totally didn't work. Hopefully, we've gone back to the old version and things are going to work today, but we'll keep you updated on that. Any other news from yourself, John? BV loss, I hear, is one that you wanted to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah. We've finally got our approval. So we are now BV loss approved, which is great. We've got 2 letters from what is essentially our regulator, the FAA or our CASA, that we have here. And interestingly, the reason there's 2 is they issue one for the license holder of the operation to operate beyond visual line of sight, and it's actually an exemption. So this is a good thing if you're interested in this. The legislation says you can't do it, but you're issued an exemption for the legislation. And then we have one for the pilots to operate, because it inside legislative instruments it says you cannot operate, a pilot cannot operate beyond visual line of sight. So, yeah, there's 2 of them, which is a surprise to me. You never know where you're going to go. But we went out yesterday and did some more, and it's great fun. It's a really good privilege to have, and we hope that even our recreational users will be able to extend their range legally in future. So see how we go. We're making waves here in Australia, slowly getting ahead.
So I'm going to ask you a favour. There's one other tech thing that happened a short while ago that's impacting me. Talk about it a little bit more while I go and fix that up.
Absolutely. So we just for our American friends, we know that the FAA is looking at other regulatory bodies around the world doing it. One of the things that they're going to insist on as you extend your range and fly further is having a spotter beside you. And here you have to have a trained spotter. So you have to actually sit down with a spotter, and they have to pass a little questionnaire saying they understand their responsibility and what to do if they see a manned aircraft. And it's a pretty simple process, but it's one of the things, for commercial operators at the moment adds cost, of course, having an extra person involved in it. But of course, for those jobs where you just need that capability, it's going to be a real win for the industry. So at the moment, we know very clearly people do operate beyond visual line of sight. I can do it safely. I'm in the right area, and you may well be in a very, very safe, low risk area to extend the range of your aircraft, as you see many people do. Other people aren't in such a safe area where that basically helicopter landing and low level traffic is going to be a risk when you're flying beyond visual line of sight. So welcome back, Greg.
Thank you for stretching there a little bit. Before we actually get into the news, there's someone who's going to go to sleep soon, and I want to quickly get him on screen just for a little bit of a moment. So we've got Nick HiTech RedNeck plus his son there.
Hey.
How you doing, Nick?
Good evening, everybody. I'm doing good.
What's your son's name again?
This is Elliot.
Elliot, sitting there in the background in a bed in a hospital room over there. It's nearly his bedtime. He's had some medication that's probably going to knock him out in a little while, but we'll talk to Nick very, very soon. But for the moment, quick wave from you, Elliot. Can you wave?
Hey, Elliot, can you wave hi? Come on. Tell everybody hi. Oh, that was a half wave.
He's about to fall asleep.
He is about to fall asleep. So we'll get back to Nick in a little while, but for the moment, let's get into the news. And as always, OzByDrone news is brought to you by Air Data UAV. Is your drone healthy, or is it about to surprise you on your next flight? Don't wait to find out. Discover under the hood information and review the early signs of problems before you take off again. Use discount code OzByDrone20 for a 20% discount. There's a link in the description. And Nick did actually go and get the subscription to that. It's a really, really good service. Air Data, you get absolutely every piece of information out of your aircraft. It's like a whole diagnostic system and everything that you can possibly find under the hood. Recommend everyone to go and check it out. So our first story today. Positioning mobile phone tower antennas is never a simple process. Samsung Electronics announced a demonstration of its new drone-based antenna configuration measurement solution for 4G using drones. Let's have a look.
"5G is quickly gathering momentum across the globe, with 75 operators having announced the commercial launch of a 5G network. More than ever, 5G is changing the way we interact with technology as well as people. In order to provide users with stable..."
So I'm just going to talk over the top of this a little bit. I've played in the network and mobile and telco space all of my life. If you can imagine those antennas that are sitting on the roof there, they've got to be aligned exactly to get the optimal configuration to get the best coverage. And if they're not perfectly aligned, it is not going to give you the best outcome. So what Samsung's actually doing, they've built some systems and software that sit on top of a drone, and it's going to allow you to position the drone in a particular position. It's going to be the target of where the beam needs to be its strongest to get the best overall signal reception and coverage. So once you've put it there, you can have your controller up on the top on the roof of that tower, going and moving and repositioning and getting the absolute most accurate mobile coverage possible. Something that, you know, I've worked in telecommunications all my life, but a really, really good use of drones to go and improve that. Have you thought of anything like that in that space before, John? Speaking of telecommunications, John's moved on to the NBN today and he's frozen. Maybe they need a drone to go and realign the NBN. Well, there's Australia's next generation network, the NBN, also known as No Bloody Network. Literally today, it's meant to stand for National Broadband Network, but John was, he was saying today, oh, everything's going to be perfect. I'm on the NBN.
And by the way, you have a couple super chats.
Let me quickly have a look at that. What have we got there?
We have got one from Metro Drones right there. I'm popping it up on the screen. And we just got another one that I'll pop up in just a second as soon as it. Good Lord.
We've got one from Wayne King, one from Metro
Wayne
Drones.
King, yeah. Yep.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that very, very much. As always, it helps.
There we go.
I haven't got the cash register sound effect that Ken's got. I need something like that so I can, you get that gratification on screen. But you know what?
You have an iPad, don't you?
Yeah, okay. I've just got to get the sound. I did look for some sounds, but I didn't find one that I like. So, yeah, I'll get there eventually.
I'll send you the link to mine.
So back to the question. John, your network is unusable today. I think that's a fair assessment of where you're at. So we'll do the next story, and if you get fixed in the background, we'll see what happens. And if you don't get fixed, we'll substitute Lloyd in your shot and see what happens. Oh, it's moving. It's moving a little bit. You there?
Hello, Houston. Come in.
Yes, I've got you. Okay. So what do you think of the idea of tuning networks using drones? Maybe if you had a drone in your area, you'd have better signal by now.
Well, what I'd rather they did was tune the network so that drones can use the 5G network across their streaming. We know one of the problems with tuning these networks is that particularly aerials, they're obviously optimized for ground transmission. But of course, once you fly over them, you get a null point over the top. So I know I'm not right on track as far as the news story goes, but it's an interesting topic because, yes, aerial alignment, as we all know as drone pilots, makes a lot of difference to the connectivity. So I was really hoping that 5G networks would consider aerial streaming as a real possibility. But, you know, who knows? Maybe there's a mod that will really help. Maybe these aerials aren't quite as directional. But I certainly like the idea of a very simple idea of using drones to fine-tune them. That's for sure.
Yeah, really cool idea. Let's move on from that story. And in the future, they will, I think, have to have an upward-facing antenna because they definitely are directional, if that's something that they want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the challenge, and I'll just share this out of interest, is that if they're going to do that, just imagine you've got to go to every cell tower in the country and go and put a new antenna on it to be able to do that. And the cost of doing that, they're not going to be able to recover that with a higher price. Ready, Set, Drone. Hi, everyone. Thought I might find some of you guys over here. Thank you for jumping across for those who've been watching First Friday. A quick little plug on that, by the way. Next week, we're doing our global fly-in again, inviting everyone to come and fly wherever you are in your part of the world. We're going to start an hour earlier next week. And we'll be live streaming on our channel and on Ready, Set, Drone. So please do come and join that next time. Let's move into our next story. The second one here is Deep Drone Acrobatics. A navigation algorithm developed at the University of Zurich enables drones to learn challenging acrobatic maneuvers. Autonomous quadcopters can be trained using simulations to increase their speed, agility, and efficiency, which benefits conventional search and rescue operations. But just quickly, this one, dodgeball. Check it out. Actually, no, it was a later one that was dodgeball, but this is still a good one nonetheless. So this is where the drone has actually been taught how to do these various maneuvers. Now, John, I don't know about you, but as a pilot, how would you feel about having a Matty flip button on your controller?
Well, you know, some of the cheaper, more toy-like, I suppose, quadcopters have these push-button rolls and things, and they work remarkably well. Really, they're quite good. The people that fly the Tello will know very well just how well that aircraft can be taught this.
But just have a look. Just have a look at the screen here. So they're tracing it on the screen, and they've actually gone and said, "Hey, let's work this out." Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of flight dynamics that's being put back into the software. Of course, you know, aerodynamics in terms of fixed wing formulas and so forth have been around for a long while. Helicopters, of course, but you know, quadcopters are really breaking the boundaries, and it is software that's doing it. And being able to, you know, work with a model like this, where the machine learning also takes place, sort of is able to get in. I mean, even before you think about wind tunnels and so forth, having the aircraft look at that, being able to trace its flight patterns, and then
to have multiples, yeah.
That's right. Amalgamate the information so that the quad itself or the flight controller really has lots and lots of information that it draws on. And again, we are right at the limit of the processing power. That won't stop as we watch Moore's law still romping along. We'll see those same sort of increases in the software and power and the processing power of our quads.
Yeah, absolutely. That one looks cool. And I've got another similar story a little bit later. But before we go on to that one, it's time to talk about the Parrot. So there's a new Parrot drone. When I first got this story, coming soon, complete with some big controversy. So Parrot Advertising has been pointing the finger at DJI, asking if you can trust them. while at the same time talking about a release date for the new upcoming Parrot product. My question, do you feel used? People have been talking about this, so it appears that the marketing theory is working. So have you seen the ads where Parrot is questioning DJI and their ability to protect your data? Have you seen some of that, John?
I think they're not alone in that now. I think all of DJI's competitors jump on that bandwagon so that they can use that. It's obviously a concern. I mean, Parrot, particularly with this one, want it to be a first responder aircraft. That's what it's basically billed as. It's got quite a. You look at it a little closer, you see it's quite a capable machine. It doesn't have the range of a DJI aircraft. It's really for a more close-up work. It's the camera. The way the gimbal works is you can look straight up, you can look over vertical in the down plane line. So there's a few nice things there, but I don't blame them. I mean, I think their marketing people said, why not? Let's jump on the DJI bash list because that will help our product. One of the interesting things I think is in the timing of the release. We know a little bit about the Mavic 3 that's proposed in September. I did get some other news today that the 30 or so Matrice 300s that came into the country, the first 30 were recalled. And so that was a little issue that happened there. But that's another aircraft. These things are going to happen. I don't think there's any real strange about that. But I think Parrot pushed hard to get their aircraft out before the Mavic 3. And that's my thinking. And it may be wrong, of course. It's just an opinion.
Yeah. Some of their slogans that they had, don't trust Chinese drones. That was the really simple message. The next one they had, do you trust DJI drones? It's very, very pointed.
Well, one of the interesting things about that is that when you look at on the box, and you often see these days when you pick up a sauce bottle, what the ingredients are. And if you look at the ingredients on the Parrot, they do acknowledge that they use Chinese parts in their machines. So, if you could check the ingredients there and tick that off, where does that stop? What parts? The flight controller, the telemetry links, whatever it is, the software. What do we know? I mean, it's basically a French aircraft made with Chinese components again. I don't think anybody makes anything these days without using some of the Chinese components. I'm not sure about the Skydio. Maybe Lloyd knows more about that aircraft. I'm interested in it too, but I don't know what parts it might share as well.
I know the controller is from, I can't remember if it's the Anafi or if it's the Autel. I think the Evo, the controller.
Yep.
And I think it's uses Chinese parts, but it's assembled here in the States. So it's American. I mean, it's like even a Ford nowadays is assembled in the States, but parts are made in Mexico. Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't make nothing here anymore.
No, we don't make parts. And look, the sensors are one of the more interesting parts of the controller. So the IMU units and all of those boards are coming pretty standard out of China anyway. So look, I know it's away from the topic a little bit because we're trying to look at the aeroplane. I worry about what they're sort of doing, and they're marketing so much about the DJI thing. I think everybody's got to stand up that makes an aircraft these days and talk about what security there is. And talk about what your own aircraft, has in terms of providing that cyber security. This is a first responder drone, and it's marketed for that, probably operating in a more sensitive environment. So I would imagine they want it to be rock solid. So let's have a look at it.
Do you know what? There's a really simple answer to this, though, for DJI. If you have a look at the different components, just imagine if there was a user replaceable data link layer that you could use between controller and the drone. So you can encrypt the data the way you want with your encryption algorithm. And just imagine there's a internet outbound data link layer that you can have and say, I don't want this to go to your servers. I'm going to send it to my server. And they released initially an open source data link module that you can have for both of those components. As soon as you've done that, and they can certify that those are the only communications in and out of your phone and between the drone and your phone, then that is a solution, and that's where they need to be going.
Yep. Oh, no, I totally agree in terms of having that extra layer of security. You know, the Matrice 300, coming back to that aircraft again, that's got 3 streams of video simultaneous that are available while it flies. So imagine the layering that's required there, because obviously if you're working in a television environment, you can send one stream of the aircraft directly to the TV broadcast station. You can send another stream, obviously, to a production or emergency controller, and of course a stream to the pilot where you can select other cameras to look at. As sophisticated, and again, you know, there's a lot there to look at, and I think it depends on the job you're doing. You know, most.
And there goes the NBN. While we wait for him to unfreeze, let's go and have a look at our next story. So with this one, sense and avoid for drones.
They would.
He's catching up. This next story, this is sense and avoid for drones. Okay, this represents a critical step in drone technology. Given the expectations of an increasingly crowded airspace, drones need to be able to avoid other things in the air. Just have a look at this one. So again, this is a university research project. And we're looking here, this is basically dodgeball with a drone. Now, we've seen other things like this before. So what's different about this one? The short answer is the new algorithm allows drones to react in just 3.5 milliseconds to avoid the incoming projectile. Now, John's not there by the look of things, so Lloyd, if you want to add in the commentary while we're waiting for his internet to unfreeze.
Well, I was just thinking, I wished I could have played dodgeball and avoided those balls that fast when I was a kid. I wouldn't have got beat up on so much.
Yeah, but that's going to be difficult because every single person in the class was throwing them at you.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But look,
Mike
seriously,
doesn't work with a shotgun.
Yeah, well, that'd be good too. But from an algorithm perspective, 3.5 milliseconds to go and avoid moving projectiles that are coming in. By the way, to my producer, can you reapply the template on that shot, because his head looks really big before you go and send that live. We're trying to put Lloyd in instead of John, but there's something wrong with that template.
Or I've got an extremely big head.
Well, there is that. Anyway, let's go back to Lloyd in the studio. There we go. Okay, we're having fun with the technology today. John's picture, for some reason, was shrunken down and we had to zoom it in for him. And now that we've put Lloyd in to substitute for John, Lloyd had a big head, but there's nothing unusual about that. Speaking of big heads, let's move on to the chimpanzee. And this is a reminiscent of Lloyd as well. Let's have a look at this.
I knew you was going to go there with that.
Of course.
You would bring me in during the chat.
Yeah, it's a very good time to bring you in.
Yeah.
So here we've got the monkey flying the drone. Now, just a quick comment on that one. What is it that we're looking at? We're seeing, I think, definitely artificially enhanced video. Let's just play it again. Like, you may very well have a chimp holding a controller. That's definitely possible.
It doesn't mean it's a controller that's controlling that.
No shit, Sherlock. And in fact, people have gone in and zoomed in and have a look at this video, and the sticks are doing one thing and the drone's doing another thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Now, the question is, what's the purpose of this video? It's been found out and about. Are people trying to say even a monkey can control that brand of drone? Or are they trying to say that that brand of drone, you know, you got to be a monkey to fly it? Which way is it trying to go?
Yeah, or it's just good advertising, you know?
Yeah.
Old guy in a drone has a monkey sitting over his shoulder every time he has a show on. So, you know, it's good for the show. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, he's looking for friends and he could only find a chimp. Okay, we're going to bring in now Nick, the HiTech RedNeck, as our guest to come in and say hello. Good day, Nick.
Well, good evening or morning for where you're at.
Yeah, what time is it for you at the moment? It's about 8 or 9?
It is currently 9:30.
9:30 p.m. So Nick is known as the HiTech RedNeck. Where did that handle come from, first of all, just out of interest?
Just out of I video game, and I have been labeled high tech, and I am also labeled a redneck. So it's kind of a mesh of both of them put together.
Fair enough. And we've got someone peeking over the background in there. We did a quick intro at the beginning of the stream. Elliot's peeking over a few moments ago. That's your son?
That is my son.
And where are you?
Currently, I am in a children's hospital where 2 weeks ago today, we received a new heart for Elliot.
Okay. Now, normally I would have a chat with you about drones or Discord or other techie kind of stuff, but I wanted to not talk about tech for a change today because it's a pretty big thing that's happening, receiving a new heart for your son. What was the background of how and why he needed to have that?
So I'll give you the brief version. The real version will be a couple hours, but he was born early with a heart defect. That after the heart defect was repaired, he had a stroke, which damaged his heart some more, which over the course of 3 years deteriorated to the point where he needed a new heart. And that brings us to today.
Okay. And literally, I think it was 2 weeks ago today, we were having our live show, and during the stream, he was on the table.
Correct.
Yeah.
We were just getting out of surgery and into recovery during the stream last week. And as you can tell, he's kind of upset right now because it's getting close to bedtime, and he doesn't want to go to sleep.
He doesn't want to go to sleep?
No, he wants to play some more. Like
he wants to fly a drone?
Oh, he's flown my drones before, of course, with my hands on his, and he absolutely loves it.
Yeah. Okay. So what's ahead? What's the road ahead? I mean, this week you were originally planning to be at home, but you had to stay in hospital a bit longer.
Yeah, they found that he has a little bit of a bacterial respiratory infection that is we're waiting on the susceptibility of. I had to look at the board over there where the word is of what's going to kill this bug the best.
Yeah.
And so long term from here, we have to keep coming back in. We have 3 biopsies in the next 4 months to make sure that his body isn't rejecting his heart. And then they're going to be spanned out further and further from here. But the rest of his life, he has to keep coming back in to make sure that the heart is functioning well in his body and that we won't have to start thinking about a new one for some time, but that will be back on the table eventually.
Okay. And after this is all over, the prognosis for normal kid life kind of thing, how does that kind of play out?
Besides the immunosuppressive medications that he's on, they say that he should be able to act, be, play, and live like a normal child.
Okay.
Excellent.
And we've just got a couple of photos over here. There's Nick with, I assume, his sister.
Yep. That's Elliot and Amelia.
Nick, sorry, Elliot.
Yeah, we look quite alike. I've been told that many times, especially with our glasses on.
Although he doesn't have as much facial hair.
No, he doesn't. Not yet.
Not yet.
And this is before or just after the operation?
That was just after the operation when he was still knocked out in the ICU.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and that, again, was just after he was knocked out as well.
Yeah. For those who are watching today, you know, super chats are nice, but don't give me any more super chats today. Go and click on the link that Nightbot's putting out. There's a GoFundMe campaign, and I think it's nice for the drone community to help support Nick and his family and to support Elliot. That was set up by Grumps on my request recently.
And it's already been transferred over to Nick. We got that. I got the notice today that he's now in control of that. So
Yeah. Okay. Nick, I don't know what else to say. There's just so much kind of raw emotion about your children or your child being unwell. It's I can't give you enough words to say, we're definitely rooting for you in your corner and hope that he has a full recovery.
I appreciate that. It's definitely been a long 2 months. In the last month and a half, I've only been physically at my home for 4 nights. I've been in the hospital here with Elliot most of the time by myself because of regulations. There's only one parent or caregiver at a time in the room with him. They recently upped that to 2 parents or caregivers. So this last little stint, my wife was with me. But most of the time I've been here by myself. And it hasn't been the most fun experience, but I'm glad we're finally on the tail end of it. But I also have to remember the family that actually gave us the gift of life for Elliot. It was definitely must have been a difficult decision for them to let their child go. But because they did, I am more than thankful to still have mine.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. Sword. Yeah, it is. I had something I was about to ask you, and I can't remember what it is because when you just gave me that other thought, oh, there he is in the background again, poking his head over. Look, I'm going to leave it there, but Nick, thank you very much. But what we are going to do is have a little bit of fun. Now, I'm trying to decide which of our 2 fun segments we're going to do. Have you got any stumping questions there, Grumps?
Absolutely not, because he's seen all the shows and I need to get a new list of questions to go through.
Yeah, so we can't do that. So instead of that, we'll have to, by the way, my producer's going to go and fix that shut up before we right click. There we go. Because John's disappeared. We originally have John in that shot. We got to go and swap that out. And while that's happening, we're going to now do, it's time for joking off. So this is a competition between 2 people in the room here. We've got Grumps, we've got Nick, and the simple objective is to tell a joke to the other and try to make them laugh. The one who makes the other laugh the most is the winner. So who wants to go first?
Nick, you go ahead.
Age before beauty.
Age before beauty. That's you, Grumps.
Yeah, I qualify on both parts. I wasn't sure which one of those it was supposed to be.
Okay.
What do you got for us?
I'm working on here.
To get my straight face on.
Being an adult is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike is on fire and you're in hell. Okay,
can you hang on a second? I've got to do something. Just that one absolutely needs. Where's my soundboard? I do have crickets somewhere here.
Okay.
No, I've got to learn this thing. That was a fail.
The snoozer?
Nick, go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nick, your
All right,
turn.
Lloyd. The Buddhist was walking down the street, came across the hot dog vendor, and he asked the hot dog vendor, "Make me one with everything." No?
No.
I thought that was a great one.
No.
Okay.
I'm laughing at the pass. Okay, one more each. Lloyd?
All right. Okay. Boy, that's yeah, let me see. Let me bring.
I'm sure you got one.
Yeah, I've got one here. Let me make sure. Let's see. I love to brag to people how I handle financial transactions for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It beats telling them I'm a cashier at McDonald's.
I did press a sound button to do a badum tish sound, but it didn't work today.
Yeah.
No, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Love the technology. It never does what you want. It was better than the other ones. One more, Nick. Go for it.
There are 2 goldfish in the tank. One looks at the other and says, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
Lloyd's got a smirk there hiding. It's trying to come out. So I'm going to declare Nick's the winner today. He couldn't hold it back.
I was trying. That was good. Actually, the first one was okay too. I couldn't hold it in after 4 jokes in a row. I mean, one of them was bound to get to me. Even the bad ones. I mean, some of those jokes are so bad that they're so bad. Well, like on Ken's show last night, that joke was so bad you just had to laugh at it because it was that bad. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
yes,
I'm going to say to
Mike Miller.
I'm going to say to you, Nick, thanks for being with us. It was good to have you in, and we wish you all the best. And
it's good to
you
be back,
too, Elliot, in the background poking your head up again.
Yeah, he's definitely tired, you can tell. And hopefully next time I come back on, I'll be home and I'll be out flying I can give you some more footage for the show tonight.
Sounds like a plan. Okay. Thanks, Nick. See you next time.
All right. See you later.
Okay.
Later, Nick.
Bye-bye. Okay, we're going to go and continue on with our stories. But before I do, just a quick reminder again, next weekend, reminding people watching in case you didn't hear the beginning earlier, we're going to have the global fly-in again. So do get your drones ready for next weekend. All you need to do is send us your video to a special address that we'll provide before the show in our Discord feed. I'll also post it on the community posting, and you can have a look at that. And you will be the star next weekend with your live flight. We're going to deliberately try and time it for sunrise time in the US, so that should be a lot of fun. You were saying something, Lloyd?
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset for you, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just put the link up there for the GoFundMe for Nick. Several people were asking for it. I guess Discord's not being quick enough, so
yeah, it should be posting it up there every 10 minutes, but thanks for that again.
Yeah.
Let's go to our next story right now, however. Airport drones. Now, everyone would think that airports and drones are things that shouldn't go together, but this company, AceCore, is working together with Dutch drone Delta Schiphol, aimed to test the technical as well as the social aspects of drones flying at an active airport. Under the temporary exemption that was granted to them and in close contact with the regulator, drones were allowed to fly in the controlled area to test applications such as runway inspection and delivery of airplane parts across the airport. Let's check this out.
De rust die we op dit moment hebben in het veld en in het luchtruim, die biedt ons de kans om nu eigenlijk voor het eerst echt met drones te gaan testen op een luchthaven. Dat is voor ons allemaal een beetje spannend.
I'll go and turn the audio down. We don't need to listen to that because I don't speak the language, but we've got subtitles there, but you can see they're doing some drone parts delivery there. Aircraft parts delivery. Now, I personally don't think the parts delivery is a justification, but certainly runway inspections is something that I think there's a lot of benefit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely can be used in that respect. But why would you deliver parts on something that small? I mean, because look at the planes that are needing the parts.
I mean, it's not like you have an urgency or a speed requirement to get from one part of the airport to another.
Right.
Right? It's going to take longer to do a safety check on the drone to go and carry the part from one part of the airport to another than it is to go and chuck it on the back of a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, they use that whole big drone just to, looks like a box of tissues, really?
But the other thing that we've seen before is certainly inspection of an aircraft from above. That's a good use of drone technology. Yeah, we'll leave that one there for now. Really, really good use of drone tech, and it's good to see that their local regulators given them an exemption to go and test that. Hopefully that'll continue in other parts of the world. But let's move on to our next story. Speaking of inspection, we've got an inspection drone story here. Drone specialist Cyberhawk has said that it has signed a 5-year multi-million-dollar software contract with oil giant Shell. Under the contract, Cyberhawk will provide its cloud-based asset visualization software iHawk for all onshore, offshore, and subsea assets, as well as all of its global construction projects. So ultimately, this is
they had to shell out.
Ultimately, being able to go and have the footage and to wander around it and browse around it in a virtual 3D kind of world when you're going and capturing the footage from a drone, really good use of drone technology and, turning that footage into something that's usable. Unlike some drone companies, though, at least they're not playing a shell game with real software and fake software.
That same thought was coming to my head, a shell game.
Yeah, but you just didn't know how to execute on the joke.
That was it. Yeah, I just hadn't figured out how to, I thought, well, I've already done one bad pun. Why should I, insult everybody even more?
Yeah. Okay, our next one today is an indoor drone story. With this one, we have a record-breaking drone show. Droneasos is a team of specialised storytellers who use drones to paint with light. The company creates compelling and immersive narratives by using cutting-edge technology and can produce both indoor and outdoor events. Safety and environmental stewardships are key focus areas for the company, and they've been able to break the record despite strict COVID-19 safety measures, and that is a particularly good achievement. Now, the original music here was Sing, 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 which if John was still around, unfortunately his NBN gave out, but I had to cut the music for Sing, Sing, Sing due to copyright issues, but just sharing that there was certainly a big band connection there. But a beautiful creation, mixing people on stage with the drone technology. And I encourage people to go and check the links in the description, the full original video with the music. Go and have a look at that and comment on that.
If you see me start dancing with my drone, just shoot me.
If I had a soundboard that was working, I would definitely get crickets for that.
I mean, seriously, that's just weird.
Okay, we've got a couple more here.
Sorry.
Our next story today is use of drones in construction. SoFi Stadium will get plenty of exposure this summer when the Rams and the Chargers are both featured on HBO's Hard Knocks. It's set to open in time for the Rams' presentation opener against the Saints on August 14, with construction ongoing both inside the venue and on the exterior. In this particular drone footage shared on YouTube, we get a look at the surrounding area of SoFi Stadium, including the lake outside the building. Now, we're just going to skip around a little bit. It's a long video, and again, I encourage you to go and check the original. We don't have time to share all of it, but we just wanted you to have a little taste of how people are using drones to supplement a construction project, to document its progress, and also to create something beautiful to share where they're at with it. Okay, and we'll move on to our next story now. And the next one, drone captures the aftermath of the massive mill fire. This drone video contains striking images of the aftermath of this mill fire that erupted at the vacant Strathmore Mill in Russell that burned for over 12 hours on that particular day. Let's have a quick peek here. Now, I want to ask people in the audience today, I want you to tell me what's wrong with this video. What is it that should have happened or didn't happen, or what's wrong? And I'll ask you too, Lloyd.
Well, from where it looked like it's taken off, doesn't look like it'd be in line of sight, but maybe I'm missing it.
What else?
Plus, he shouldn't be, if they were putting out a fire, he should be flying over there. That's the first thing.
That's exactly right. I just want to comment on that briefly because I had a look at regulations in the US when I saw this particular story. In Australia, we are not permitted to fly over emergency scenes. It's an automatic TFR, for lack of a better description. The actual regulations say you are not permitted to fly without authorization from the emergency controller who's managing the scene on the ground, specifically targeting fire scenes, bushfires, etc., etc. The guy who filmed this, and I'm not trying to, have a go at him, but I'm just trying to make us think about this, as professional drone pilots. What should have happened? Definitely, it shouldn't have been flown in my opinion.
Even as an amateur, like myself, I know not to fly, and Mel put it up there, flying at an emergency.
Mel, can I ask you? You've got your license. Is it actually? Yeah. He's got his 107. Is it actually against the law in the US to fly over an emergency scene like that? I'd be interested to find out. I couldn't find anything specific in your regulations, but you're probably a little bit more familiar than I am with the US laws.
Oh yeah, he keeps up to date on that. And Ken, if he's still in here, he would know too.
Yeah.
Let's see who else.
Now we're getting close to the end of the show today with finishing our news. I'm going to quickly ask
Miller
Lloyd
says it is against the law.
Okay. We're getting close to the end today. I'm going to ask Lloyd, can you pop the rendezvous link in the chat just in case anyone wants to pop in and say hi? We've got a little bit of time left to fill at the end of the show today. So if you can pop that in, and anyone who wants to come in, say hello and comment on any of the stories today, you're welcome to do so. But for now, we've got one story left in our last... Sorry, Lloyd?
Yes, it is, because it's illegal to fly at or over any emergency response. Yes. Yeah, so that's what Mel says too. So, yeah. So Mike Miller. I thought it was, but as a hobbyist, what do I know? I'm a vlogger anyways.
Yeah, so there's Mel coming in now, and we'll get him to talk in a minute. We'll just quickly do our last news story first. New aerial footage has shown how work has been progressing on installing a new fish pass on the River Aire under Kirkstall Abbey. The footage shows progress on installing the pass with the building of a pontoon bridge across the river and a cofferdam. This was just some beautiful footage that was taken by the local environmental group that's working on that there. And again, a good use of drone technology. I just thought I'd share that with our audience today. Beautiful footage. So while they're doing that, my producer's going and putting Mel up on screen and doing all of the magic for that. So bear with us for a few moments, Mel. There we go. Back to us, Lloyd. Let's bring Mel in.
Yeah.
Mel.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mel. How you doing?
Doing good. Can
you reapply the template to that? Can you reapply the template to that screen, because he zoomed in to the wrong level? It's another Wirecast bug. Just right-click on the shot. Right-click on the shot. Down. Not there. Down the shots. Sorry. Should be able to just right-click on it. Right-click the template. Like we do at the beginning of the show, change template and click the same one, and that should hopefully fix it. There we go. Perfect. And send it live. There we go. That's better. Why would Wirecast bring in a guest? Sorry, I'm not going to...
The wrong size?
Yeah. That would never happen with vMix. I'm sure you're ready to tell me that, Mel.
Actually, I was.
There you go.
And by the way, folks, I use both of them. I'm currently using Wirecast, but I use them both.
Yeah, Lloyd's a by-broadcaster.
He's a what?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, bite me.
There you go. Yes, it is absolutely to fly over any emergency response situation in the United States, especially fires, because in the United States, they use a lot of aircraft to fight fires. A lot.
I saw specific comments about wildfires, and I don't know your legal definition of a wildfire. There was one that I saw recently that was, another house fire, a building fire. Is that something that
even that's illegal to fly over?
Okay.
Well,
it's illegal to fly over any emergency
wildfire
response.
is the same as your bushfires.
Yeah, a wildfire here is like a bushfire there.
Yeah. I saw that in the regulations, but I couldn't see for non-wildfire fires. So I'd be interested if anyone's got the time in the audience to go and do some Googling and put up a specific reference.
Doesn't matter. Any emergency response is illegal to fly over, whether it's a car accident or a house fire or a bank robbery. It doesn't matter. Any emergency response is illegal to fly over. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Don't put it past somebody to get, hey, there's a bank robber down there. Let's go down there. It's down there at the Second National Bank. We're going to go get the drones.
Where's that
one of you got the music?
Ken, when you need it. That's what I was thinking too, Greg.
I don't have it either.
Hey, listen up right now. Hold my beer. We're going to go watch this guy rob this bank right now. By God.
Exactly. And see, Mel and I can do it because we're both from, well, Mel lives in Arkansas. That's even worse than Oklahoma, but he's from Tennessee right now.
You didn't have to rub it in.
Yeah, I know. I think there's a song called that, but we're not going to sing it.
Can you just put the two-shot up for a minute?
Yeah, it goes with a porn movie, Lloyd. We can't even.
Wrong one. We've still got Nick there. I was looking for the two-shot with Mel. There we go. I'm just going to leave the show now because I'll let you guys take over.
You go. Yeah, we do kind of do that, don't we?
Okay. Well.
Hey, thanks for coming to watch the OzByDrone live show. We appreciate every one of you that shows up here.
Make it rain up in here, y'all. Make it rain.
Anyway, we have reached the end of the show. Just a couple of quick things. One, let's do the Brady Bunch. Ken was talking the other day. He wants to have 4 people on screen at the same time, and doing what I'm doing right now. In Wirecast, you've got placeholders for 3 people. 3. That's it. You can't have a 4th one, so you've got to do workarounds for it.
That really sucks because in BMX you have placeholders for up to 9. You can have 3 squares across and 3 down.
Yeah. Anyway, Wirecast,
and they all work when you bring them in. You don't have to depend on Skype and other crap. It just works.
Yeah. We love you, Wirecast. Anyway, I just wanted to say one more time, Nick, thank you for coming in as our guest. We do wish you very, very well, and especially to Elliot as well. Let's go and have a quick check on that GoFundMe. Where is the link? Can you click on the link for me, Grumps, and let me know where that's at?
Yeah. It's at 230 right. Well, let me refresh. It's at 270 right now. Wow. So it jumped
up. Spoiling me.
Yeah,
spoiling me.
It jumped up by $40 just since the show's been on. So.
Yeah, can you paste that in one more time? And I just want to encourage people, even if you only give a couple of bucks, it's buying a cup of coffee for Nick while he's going to and from the hospital and staying in the hospital overnight and unable to go and get all that stuff from home. That's all helps. So appreciate anything you can.
I'm about 3 hours from home.
Look, there you go. Petrol money,
right?
Petrol money back and forth every time you go over there, it all adds up. So please do show Nick some love from the drone community.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, that's all we've got time for today. Just a couple of quick community service announcements as we do at the end of each week. If you would like to send a video or to be a guest on the show, I invite you to send it to upload@gregkuhnert.com. And if you've got someone that you think would be a good guest, ask them to write to us as well. Finding guests is always a challenge, so do send in some info. It would be very much appreciated. If you'd like to follow us on social media, OzByDrone on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, Smashcast, DLive. We're not on Mixer anymore because Mixer has decided they don't want to stream anymore. But thanks, Microsoft. And last but not least, if you've got anything physical that you'd like to send us, the address is 5/127 Princess Highway, Sylvania, New South Wales 2224, Australia. So again, thank you to Lloyd, to Mel, to Nick. Any last words from the three of you before we go?
No, thanks for having me on as a backup for John again.
Thank you to NBN for inflicting Lloyd on us.
Yep.
Yeah. See, my
Mel?
board works, Greg.
Yeah. Mel?
I really have nothing to add except if you had something other than Prudy computers and BMix, you might not have all these troubles. I mean, I don't know. Oh, look at there. We got the head hang.
Well, anyways,
My wife is telling
American...
my wife is telling me not to do that because I've got too much Chrome Dome.
Yeah, it was blinding, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, all the Americans out there, have a safe, healthy weekend for the 4th of July.
Yep.
Drink plenty of water because it's hot out.
Absolutely. It was in the high 90s here today. It was very hot.
So
I even
4th
changed
of
my
July.
flag
This
for
is
Ken.
yeah. So 4th of July. This is when you lot get to blow things up.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I blow things up all year, hence redneck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just as long as you don't shoot
We
drones.
we don't need a day or an excuse. We just, you know.
Just as long
It
as you
always
don't
starts
shoot
out
drones
here.
down.
Hold my beer.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for being part of our show today.
Thank you, Greg.
We'll catch you later.